Welcome and thank you so much for joining us on the Mind Body Content Podcast. We are your host. I am Chris Lawler, and with me as always is Nick.
That's right, man. Chris, you guys so excited about that intro.
So pumped about it. And then Raymond as well. Hello, Raymond.
Yes, that is me. Hello.
Hello. Our mission every week here is to educate you about the three things all entrepreneurs must pay attention to, which is mind, body, and content. Please don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe on wherever you consume your content. On today's show, we are breaking down the mindset of why content is king and why marketing is just as important. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on today's first inaugural episode. How is everybody feeling today?
Oh, fantastic.
Great.
Fantastic. It's a beautiful day. I can't get over how beautiful your voice is on these intros. I'm just going to say that out right now.
I appreciate that.
Professional. That is straight for the mind, everyone. That is soothing the mind.
For your mind grapes, right? As you process it. Yes, excellent. So we're all good. As you guys probably know, we are all our own entrepreneurs. We create content and we are content strategists and creators. So I would love for us to start off with just the mindset behind that. You know, we all kind of came from creative backgrounds, but what was that mindset shift for you guys to realize that content is king and it's going to be a way that we all monetize for the future? Not just us three, but all business and entrepreneurs.
Dang, that's go ahead, Nick.
It's a big question. And to be honest with you, I've probably been fighting that even though I got into this content creation space. I've still been fighting it. I think one of the biggest issues that I had a while ago was I heard a lot about how attention spans of the average person are starting to go down lower and lower and lower.
Yeah.
I've heard that over and over. And as a film guy who loves the 2.5 hour long epics, I was like, no, you don't take those away from me. But what I realized was that as far as the content and the length of content goes, a lot of it has to do with how interested a person is. If a person is interested in what you're creating, they will stick around. They will watch it no matter how long or listen to it or whatever it is. And if not, then they'll leave. So a hook is really important. But the thing is now, because there are so many pieces of content out there, what you really have to look for is how do you add value and how do you get someone's attention and keep someone's attention?
Yeah. Well, how do you stand out? It's a can we cuss? I'm cussing.
Well, we couldn't before, but we are now.
Yeah, we are now. Okay. But it's an ocean of content over there. It's an ocean of content out there. And really standing out in this marketplace, I think that's one of the bigger reasons why, our attention span, they say our attention span is going less and less. Yeah. We're just getting inundated with all this content. And it's just it's like that quick dopamine rush of seeing that. Oh, it's that same TikTok. Oh, it's that same dance. Oh, this is something different.
It's like the new channel surfing. For some reason, you're just always looking for some part of entertainment instead of doing something else with that time. But it's okay because content is how we kind of communicate nowadays, right? So you're right. There's a sea of it out there. So how do you make content that resonates with people? So I think it's time we should bring up GaryVee here. He is the king right now, I think, when it comes to the face of content creation. A lot of people know him, even though they're not even sure what he's all about. So he says content is king, but marketing is queen and runs the household. Nick, how do you interpret that one? What do you think he's really talking about there? Because I think it's obviously beating around the bush of what we're trying to discuss today as well.
Right. So there's this great quote. I think it was from the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding, which it was something where just hear me out, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
We're letting you hear.
This goes.
Just hear me out, okay?
This is allowed.
It was something to the effect of okay, the man runs a household, or the man might be the head of the household, but the woman is the neck that controls everything, right? It's like the same content right now. You've heard that phrase, content is king. People are absorbing content more and more. There's tons of it out there. It is so absolutely important. But what marketing does is marketing basically tells you what content will actually be successful for you. And this is actually why I got into content strategy as opposed to content creation or just.
And what is content strategy, right? Most people don't even understand that. So it's content with a purpose.
That's totally that's exactly what it is, right? Strategy basically means that you're on some sort of a plan or method to get to a certain, goal, right? And in this particular sense, marketing with the content that you have is like, what direction is this content going in? That's a big thing that I like to talk about whenever I talk with businesses is what is your sales funnel? And then I say to somebody like, what is the purpose of any piece of content that you have in that sales funnel? The purpose is just to get them to the next part of the sales funnel. So like all that I have to do if I create an ad is try and get somebody to click. And then once I get somebody to click and look at it, like, how do I get them then to the next step, to make a call? How do we get that call to turn into a sale? How do we, and it's just like, that's all the different kinds of things. And if we're just looking at it from that perspective, all of a sudden the type of content that you create starts to change, because so many businesses that I see are like trying to get the sale right then and there. And it's like, that just doesn't work. You know what I mean? You have to figure out what type of content you're doing and where you want to go with it,
Yeah. I think with GaryVee too, coming back to like content is king. Like I've never heard him say like, but marketing is queen. This is probably a newer quote. Maybe. I don't know. It used to be like, I remember watching him like when I was first getting into my entrepreneurial journey, and he's like, content. You got to be hustling. You got to be posting. You got to be posting like 30,000 times a day. And it was like overwhelming. It's like, man, like I'm not doing enough. I need to be doing this. But like, there's some strategies that he also talks about too. It's like, content is just like your mode of transportation for your message, right? A video just carries your message, right? Right. It's that voice, but it's like the marketing part, the strategy part. It's like, okay, well, great. We have this video, right? How are we thinking about the contents of this video for, like our brand, our choices, like Nick said, like what's the purpose, what's the next steps, and like what's the overall big picture thing, marketing, right? Like, are we trying to like focus down on one product to sell more? Are we just trying to build an audience? How can we build an audience? And then once we build that audience, like, hey, what's the next step to like, run a certain deal to get more sales in the door? Are we thinking of a long-term game? And so like, but really it comes down to people like when they really think of like content is king, they're like, I don't have no clue what to do.
Right. They just think I'll just make a TikTok video, or I'll just make a video and put it on my Facebook page. I've got 30 subscribers. Why didn't I make $1,000 in sales off that one video? Right. Because those people that are subscribed to you probably are already just your supporters and whatnot. You need to resonate with a new audience. So that's great. Now, Raymond, you do this on a daily basis. You talk to entrepreneurs that do not understand why they need this. I could literally throw a rock and hit a business, and I know that business needs content. So what things have you been running into with business owners that have been telling you, oh, I don't need content, things are fine, when you know that things aren't fine and things could be better and they could be doing more directive sales and stuff like that? What things have you been running into with business owners that you've been talking to, especially lately, of why they've been convincing themselves not to create content? And why not to do all of this stuff? Like, what have you been hearing with the people you've been talking with?
Most people like either don't see like the long-term potential for this stuff, or can you just put me back? I don't like talking to myself.
Oh man, trying to highlight him, make him sound so smart.
I know
production value, and I can't even do that. You're not supposed to be looking at yourself anyway, my friend. But okay.
Cut him some slack.
Oh, fine. All right, fine.
It's gonna happen.
No, so basically, I hear there's a lot of different things, but a lot of people, when they don't want to do content, they think the normal ways of getting business will always work for them, and it's always has. Like, networking, building relationships, that's all super important. But a business needs, like in nowadays, if you're not putting effort into your online presence and getting clients in that way, you're just getting left in the dust for the potential of your business growth. Like, why would you play, baseball and swing a bat with one hand when you have two hands there to actually control it? Right. And so to get that extra, you know, leg up, and have that extra stream, and so your business is more almost like a balanced table, right? You know, having just an extra leg for stability in case one falls, like you have that extra, but this one could be so much more valuable, and be such a huge profit generator for you, that it seems silly just to not do that. But they come to me and they're just like, you know, these have been working, like we've been doing this, it's going to keep doing that. I was like, well, what if that doesn't happen? Like, what if you dry up with this? Like, wouldn't it be nice to have something like generating you leads through online? How shouldn't we figure this out? And most people, like, even if that's still like not what they want, it's like, you know, it just hasn't worked with us. And I was like, well, are you a professional? So
oh, that's a great excuse. I love that you brought that up. Nick, how many times have you heard, oh, we've done marketing, it never worked for us in the past, so we're not going to do it with you?
Yeah, I do think that the marketing tactics out there can be a bit questionable from different sources and things like that. One of the things that I found really interesting from a lot of the different people that I've been talking to, businesses specifically, have been, oh, it takes me so much time to post all this content, and I don't know what to do with it. And if I'm like, oh yeah, sure, well, I can post your content for you and it'll cost XYZ, they're like, whoa, that's way too much money for me to be investing into this social media stuff that hasn't been working for me. So one of those, I think a lot of businesses coming from a mentality of even, 10 years ago, don't really see it as that sort of useful thing. And I've talked with multiple content creators now who even say the same thing of like, of course, a referral is going to be a stronger thing than one bit of content, right? But the thing is that content can not just be used to get people like outreach methods, but it can also be used as a defensive marketing strategy. Because how many times, for different businesses in particular, there are like a bunch of different, let's just say, I don't know, tax practices out there, right? And there could be lots of new people getting into the tax world for the first time, trying to understand what's going on. They go to these different businesses, and if they see one has an active social media with people who are just happy about what they're doing, sharing testimonials, or even, new tips and tricks, like, even though tax is not necessarily a fun thing that I want to do, if you're doing it as a defensive thing and you're searching all of these different places out, you see one person has been posting content consistently, the other one has one post on there or has never done anything. It's like, all of a sudden, who do you have that trust in? Who cares about their business enough to be sharing their value? You know what I mean?
That's a good one.
So that's another thing that I've been seeing a lot.
That you kind of prove your worth, right? In your value. That's an interesting thing to definitely have, man. Right on. Well, yeah, that's a great breakdown of why content is king, but why you still need good messaging and marketing. Glad to have you back.
So sorry about freezing up on you guys there.
It's okay.
This is again, good content is very necessary. You can't just throw content out there. So I apologize for that. But I did actually have a question for you, Chris.
Yeah.
We've been talking a lot about content itself and making sure that it's good, blah, blah, blah. Raymond brought up the idea of making sure that you're understanding what your marketing strategy is, right? Like what kind of content are you posting and things like that. So I wanted to hear, Chris, from you, what you think are ways that people can be using their content more effectively for specific marketing purposes? Or is there any sort of marketing tactic that you know of where you go, oh my gosh, social media would be the thing to use? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. I mean, each business, you kind of got to like break it down and figure out like what's the process for getting clients in the door and stuff like that. Is it business to business, business to person, stuff like that and stuff. But simply once you break that down, social media is always going to be the answer. You just kind of figure out which one it is. Like a brick and mortar place definitely is going to do better from Facebook and Google because it's got a physical location. Those 5-star reviews are really going to resonate. Not everyone needs a YouTube channel, but we are seeing a huge thing in YouTube Shorts. and TikToks. So it's just figuring out how to leverage that. But at the end of the day, if you don't have a good call to action and a direction to give someone, they're not going to know what to do with that. That's why all throughout the 90s growing up, it was call now, 1-800 call now. And they would say it 3 times. So you almost had that phone number memorized. So you want the same thing. You want to make sure that when you're at the end of the thing, it's not, we do everything for everyone, because that speaks to no one. It's, hey, are you the one that's losing sleep and stuff like that? Come and get a massage. Even though you know a salon's going to do 5 other services, you want to have that direct messaging. And how do you do that? Oh, you go online, and it's simple and easy, right? You want to hold people's hands through the entire process and stuff. And a lot of people just put out content, hey, this is so-and-so and we do this. Okay, great. Yeah. I'm so glad that you do that. You know what I mean? What do you do for me? Is what the consumer is thinking.
Yeah, I think so many people, when they put content, they don't realize how, and I call this selfish content, and I don't because it's selfish, because it's all about them. And they're saying, hey, I do this. Hey, I do this. Oh, I do this. Call me now because I can help you with this. And it's so me. It's like, and business owners who network, they'll resonate with this. It's like when that guy who, you go to the networking event, you're just like talking, mixing, and then you have that guy who's just like, here's my business card. I do this. I can help you with this. Here's my business card. Take it. And you're like, I'm never calling this. Like, you just like rip it up as soon as he turns around. But but it's like the same thing. It's like when someone says, hey, my name is so and so, I help people do this, I'm my services are this and this, like it's kind of like whatever. But like everything, even Gary, going back to GaryVee, he has a book called Jab 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 Right Hook or something like that, and it's all about value then ask. So it's like, if I give a whole bunch, that's a social media strategy right there, right? That's on the basics line. It's like, if I do like, if the more value I give without ever asking, the bigger I can ask at the end. If I give, like Alex Hormozi is another good one. All he does is give high quality, valuable content that you can tangibly use into your business and marketing right now. And then if he has an ask, his ask is like, buy my 99-cent book, which he couldn't give away for free. Or if you're making over 3 million, join our program, right? There's the
jab, right hook. Okay.
Yeah, basically it's just literally give valuable content, valuable information, and ask later for, and this could be in anything, not just content, but it's like, how much value can I give first, without asking anything, and hope and know in that return, law of reciprocity, they'll probably want to give back to me.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think that's a great idea, Raymond. And there was a great quote that I'm going to misquote horribly, also from GaryVee.
Absolutely. That's all we're here for.
We'll be so close.
So close.
But go for it.
But no, it was something like, the best marketing strategy ever is to care. Like if you care about the other individual and what kind of value that you're adding to them, they are going to be much more indebted to you. Because the other thing is, we talk about running ads in a lot of our different business conversations, because ads do work. That's true. Yeah. But also every single person, well, almost every single person is now almost conditioned to a point where they see an ad, they want to skip it. Like they know when somebody's trying to sell them
they're being
something.
fed. Yeah.
They know when they're selling something. So that idea, like even in the marketing strategy, 1, it helps you feel good about yourself if you're giving and helping people. 2, you're not selling anybody anything at that point. At that point, you're just adding value to them.
Yeah.
And if you continue and add, continuing, then we get to that law of reciprocity thing that Raymond was talking about. And it's like, heck yeah, of course I want to go with this guy because he's been so helpful to me.
Yeah.
And thinking that with ads, like, you don't want to be sold to, right? There's a guy called, his name is, he's a big real estate mogul. Ryan.
Oh, come on, get there.
Ryan Serhant.
That sounds like a name. That sounds legit. I'll believe it.
You look him up. He's one of the top real estate agents and moguls, like, in the US.
Okay.
And really big content guy. So I read his book, Sell It Like Serhant. And in there, one of the biggest lines I took away from was people don't like when they're selling houses, people don't like being sold to. They like shopping with friends. Right.
Yeah. I can see that. Okay.
And so friends are like there just to help you out, just like, oh, they're thinking about you. What do you need? Kind of, how can I help you? And salespeople, the negative context is like, okay, what can I sell to you? What do you like? What products can I add on to this to make this huge list and my commissions bigger? Right. But with ads, coming back to around where Nick is saying, thinking about shopping with friends and thinking about caring and providing value, the better ads nowadays, it's not like, here, you need this. It's like, how can I incorporate care, knowledge, and value and that friendly vibe into this advertisement that gets them to be like, oh my gosh, I just learned so much and this guy is really doing this. And like, oh, I need this now. Like, thank God that he's presented me with this information.
Yeah.
And now I need his product.
Right. I mean, the thing that I've seen, especially with content, since we're going to go back to why content is so king and stuff like that, and why you need to be having value and a purpose with your content, you'd be surprised how much free information is out there in that content. Even with people that have paywalls to like be in their club or get one-on-one coaching and stuff, you'd be surprised how much free content is out there. But, that's why great content. That's why you build trust with that group and the rapport with people online, people you've never met, right? Because you've given them so much trust in the value that you've given them in the content and stuff like that. So when they see that you're charging for more content, they're more inclined to pay you for that stuff. And I know that we're talking about content, but that's going to be the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, you could have a clothing store and just sell clothes, or you could start educating people on different styles and cuts and the history of that stuff and why this dress is so expensive, but why this fabric is now going to last you that much longer. With that more knowledge and education, once again, you come in as a friend, like you said, you're shopping with a friend on that one and stuff, and you're shopping more educated and whatnot. So you're more willing to spend the extra money on something quality
because you know the value now.
There you go. Now you know the value. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Produce content with value. I mean, I think we just summed up the show.
Yeah, that's it. Produce content with value. I mean, honestly, you said the clothing store thing, and I was literally just watching a YouTuber who was educating me on like the difference in like more professional like style, because I don't really dress like professional style, but I would like to. And I was like learning so many different things about different clothing, different wears, and I was like, interesting. And then he had a store, he has a back end business to his YouTube channel.
There you go. Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, okay, I could, it's got all the styles that he was talking about, and I wanted this and this, I could just do that.
Yeah. And real quick on that exact idea, just that mentality of there are so many places that you can go to learn all this stuff. There are so many people providing value. That's great. A great marketing strategy to provide value is have a place where all of that is in one, like nice, neatly packaged, just like Raymond was talking about, of doing like, hey, here's all of this great content about how to dress well and all that kind of stuff. And here's a place to find where you can buy things that will help you dress well and all that. So it's literally like all right there. Yeah. Ease of access, all in one place. That's a great marketing strategy.
It almost goes back to
that's content SEO. Going into marketing. You know what I mean? That's direction.
SEO blog post is kind of what we're talking about from like 10 years ago, where you would go do research online and it would compare two products together. But then when you actually got down to the fine print, you were like, this is actually created by one of the two companies as an SEO blog post, where it seems like they're comparing themselves against the competitor, but they make themselves shine out brighter and stuff like that. Now it's a little bit of like a backdoor brag and everything, but that's kind of what we're doing, where you want to educate someone on something. Like you might be hesitant to go to a chiropractor because you think all they do is crack bones, right? But then if a chiropractor starts teaching you, oh, if you do this with massage therapy, with this, it's all one thing, and you understand the bigger picture, then it's not an expense, but an investment, as we're talking about. So anyone can do this. Anyone can create the rapport. We are creating rapport with our audience by explaining this.
And I want to say one more thing, as we just got off the body content topic, the body side. No, because there's always those people. It's like, oh, there's so much content out there. Why would it work? Like for me, what's going to say it's going to be like, I get that all the time. And I was like, hey, here's an easy example. Like if you think of like the some of the comedy shows that I just think about, like, you know, think about Parks and Rec, you know, you think about what is it, like How I Met Your Mother, and you think about like maybe like one other one, right? Like, and you talk to one person and you present them with these 3 shows, there's a chance that they're only going to like one of those 3. Those three are like those 3 could be they're extremely popular, right?
Law and Order SVU has been on for years. I've never seen an episode.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
Yeah,
you are your own TV show, and those people who resonate with the value you're bringing, you will bring those type of people in, and you will push away those people who don't like your content. But that's fine. There's content for everyone.
Exactly. And people who are more resonating with you. You can have 10 people talk about the same thing, but if you have like 3 people that are really shy and don't want to be on camera, and you have 1 extrovert, the extrovert might do a little bit better because people are resonating with their outgoing personality and stuff like that. And so even though you're selling the same thing, you're selling yourself. I mean, that goes back even older than content. That's how you've been doing sales for years, right? You're selling a little bit of yourself.
Yeah,
right?
Let's sell ourselves. Let's sell our business, the emotion that we go into branding and blah, 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 all these other things. It's like creating, you're creating a community too of people, right?
Yeah.
And this is also like, I didn't know what sales funnels were until maybe like year and a half, 2 years ago. And now I can't get enough of them, because the entire concept is to get the people who don't even want to be there out and get the people who do want to be there so excited to move to the next thing. Right. So all that content you're creating is doing the exact same thing. So I just think that stuff is brilliant. I really like what you just said there, Raymond, about the idea of sort of creating that thing. And you too, Chris. I like what you said too.
Okay, thank you.
I can see it. I can see you getting solid there.
I was holding my breath for a couple.
Yeah, exactly.
But he really liked mine. Don't worry.
But I really liked it. I like Chris's, but I really
like it.
Okay.
Exactly. I know.
And
I know I dropped some gold.
Last podcast. All right.
After this, we're all fighting each other.
So we should be wrapping up now, right?
I think that's a good place to end.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we are all entrepreneurs. We all obviously live in the content creation world. And the great thing is that we live in the world of diagnosing. We do not just go, even though we know everyone needs content, instead of just going, here's 100 videos for $1,000 or some shit like that. Actually, that's way underselling it. If I present you with videos and $1,000, then you better take me up on that. But, you know, we can all help you out. So, Nick, you've got Front Pocket Productions. He's based out of Texas down there. And then Raymond is got, I'm sorry, what is yours one again? It's Aperture Collective.
Aperturity Collective. That's
Aperturity.
Cool. We could just put apcolectivefilms.com, and now you're embarrassing me.
That's great. And then I run Altitude Productions. I'm out of Colorado. Raymond's in California there. And so if you own a business or are someone that just understands that content might actually help you start monetizing whatever it is. I mean, even if you're an artist, a musician, everyone needs content. Everyone needs to get out there and start monetizing, because this is the future. This is how we're all going to be making money and speaking with our audience, is through the content that we create. So let us help you create that message, create that vision. So any parting words there, guys?
Peace.
Okay. Well said. Double peace. Okay. Well, thank you so much for tuning into today's show. If you enjoyed what you heard, tune in every week for more, and please consider subscribing on whatever platform you are enjoying us on. And if it's on Apple Podcasts, be sure to give us the biggest 5-star review that you can. Until next time, remember, now is the time to turn that content creation into monetization. I want to thank my co-hosts, Nick Pinelli and Raymond Olivares, for coming out today. And hopefully we will be seeing all of you guys real soon. Thank you, and have a good day.